Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. While ARX supercars might be done for the day, we have semifinals and finals for ARX2 coming up. Lined up behind me on the grid here, you can see semifinal 1. Everyone's in their cars, belted and ready to go, so I'm going to send it up to Bucky and Andrew.
Yeah, great stuff. Thank you, James. We're looking forward to a couple of semi-finals. I'm wondering whether or not we've managed to get the car of Keys fixed or not. So Alex Keys was having a motor change, which is a big job on these cars. He's missed every single qualifying session. If there are less than 12 cars, he's entitled to take part in the semi-finals. Obviously, he's going to qualify at the back of the grid in semi-final 2, and he has to use used tyres. So we're not quite sure whether or not Keys has managed to get the car fixed in time. Fraser McConnell, of course, in this as well, hoping to take the championship standings, but they're not going to make it easy for him. He's qualified, I think, in 4th place, so he will be on the front row. But he's been beaten by one man in particular all through qualifying. So have a look back at this. This is the action from ARX2's qualifying round 8 from Mid-Ohio. So first race of the day, and you can see that Alex Keys was missing already. Sage Karam was in this one. Remember, this was generated from the drivers choosing their grid positions after a random draw, and Karam took it. We weren't sure if the track was going to get quicker or not. Conor Martell getting P2. On to race 2. See Lane Vakela kicking the clutch. Fraser McConnell, watch this, super brave, turns in across the nose of Cole Keats in 5th gear. We missed it at that point, but it was brave, trust me. Contact between Vakela and Ledbetter. At first we thought Ledbetter had cut the course. When we looked back, we felt Vakela had hit her and barged her off, but no action taken by the stewards. McConnell won the race, but he wasn't as quick as Sage Karam. On to Q2, still no Alex Keys, as you can see, and now this was the way the races would remain. A mistake by Michael Leach, and Ledbetter managed to get past. Ledbetter had better pace, we felt. Better by nature and a better by name, but she couldn't get it done, unfortunately stuck behind Michael Leach for a couple of laps. Vakela won this encounter. Quick drivers all in together. Cole Keats with the best of the starts. Absolutely nailed the other guys off there. Fraser McConnell jokered really early, but the other guys responded. Joker just a lap later, meaning it dropped him down to 4th place. Sage Karam took the win again, 2 from 2. Final qualifying session, same 3 drivers in this first one again. Good start by Michael Leach. They put the squeeze on Ledbetter, who dropped out. She jokered early again, and Michael Leach again was making a few mistakes. So me and Bucky felt that the car wasn't working too well. No,
I didn't get a chance to go down there and chat with them, but I do believe the car was reacting kind of upsetting to him. It's just a little too much rear.
Yeah, it was moving around a lot. So Vakela took another win, but again, we were expecting these guys to go faster. So a super even start, 4 cars side by side. It was in fact Fraser McConnell who jokered early again, and it was Sage Karam who took the win again. Here are the standings at the end of Q3. Sage Karam with a clean sweep of the qualifying results. He's desperate for a win. He's had 2nd place 3 times. Cole Keats, P2. Lane Vakela. Conor Martell down in 4th. Then it's Fraser McConnell, Gray Ledbetter, Michael Leach, and Alex Keys. So interestingly, Fraser there showing us down in 5th place when I'm sure he was showing us 4th earlier on. So maybe there's been some adjustment to the points by the stewards. But Fran's going to be starting, it looks like, on the 2nd row. And that's not really where he wants to be.
No. Hopefully he keeps his car clean, though, and just finishes with some good points today.
So he's a long way in front, Fraser McConnell, and this is how we stand in terms of championship points after qualifying. Sage Karam taking 16, 15 for Cole Keats. Vakela showing us in 3rd place. I think Vakela's too far up the standings there, but that will see McConnell down in 5th. I think we've got a slight issue with the points there, but there we go, because Lane Vakela hasn't beaten Fraser McConnell, so don't worry about it. It's all good. We'll get it figured out. We'll get the championship points right for you, and we're going to have a little break before we get these guys sent up into the semi-finals. Right, so, sorry, confirmation of the championship standings. I say a slight glitch in the point scoring equipment there, but Sage Karam is your TQ man. We knew that. Keats is second, Martell is third, but I was right. Fraser McConnell is in fourth. Lane Vakela is in fifth. It's a good performance by Vakela, but not enough to beat McConnell. Ledbetter is in sixth. Leach was seventh. Alex Keys in eighth place. So Fraz will start from the front row in his semi-final, although looking at the pre-grid, Fraz's car is the one car I can't quite see, so I don't know if it's hidden behind one of the others.
Yeah, he's behind Keats there.
Okay, so he's behind Keats. So Fraser is in the pre-grid, which is to the right rear of the shot you guys looking at home.
Keys is the issue here, right? Where's Keys?
Keys is in semi-2, and I'm pretty sure I can see his car at the back there, Bucky. So me and Bucky are looking over our shoulders over at the pre-grid area. So Fraser McConnell took 13 championship points at the intermediate standing point of the weekend. And he might well be able to take the championship by the end of today. Here's the grid then for semi-final number 1, round 8 of ARX2 2019. Sage Karam on the pole, Connor Martell next to him. Very identical looking cars, that'll be fun. Lane Vakela and Michael Leach on row 2. So being really honest, I'm expecting this to be 2 very separate races. It's going to be Vakela versus Leach for the final spot in the final, but out front, there's no question about it for me. These are 2 of the fastest guys in the championship. Connor Martell on the right of your screen.
And teammates.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, of course, completely different liveries. We've got the old stickers on from Sage Karam at the start of the year. A bad start for Martell, goes completely backwards. So it will be, I say, that the pace of Martell I'm expecting. I wonder if Martell's got a problem, Bucky. He seems to be slow all the way through that first section.
Peels off into the Joker. That's a smart move.
Absolutely, but if he catches up with these guys, well, basically, this is probably going to hand the win to Sage Karam straight away, isn't it? He needed a way better start than that.
Yeah, honestly, no one has had the pace to catch up to Sage today. Oh, a little different line there.
So I don't know if you guys have been watching at home, but we were on ARX3 just a few moments ago, looking at the Sierra cars. Look at that. Martell just lines up a perfect pass on Lane Vakela. Now, Bucky, we saw the final. They haven't necessarily watched at home unless they've been on Sierra Cars' Facebook page. And there were mistakes aplenty because the track has been watered heavily since Q2 for ARX Supercar. Still a bit of dust about, but particularly that braking zone. And look at that, Martell straight past Leach as well.
Leach didn't see him. He turned in.
And Leach turned in then as well. So Michael Leach really has had a rotten day today. Hasn't gone his way at all. This guy, the total opposite.
Total opposite. Sage has been laying down the laps. He's been very consistent. He hasn't made any mistakes. And he's been driving his own race. You can see the front wheels lock up under braking there. With the bumps, dragging the dirt back onto the tarmac.
Connor's trying hard, isn't he? Connor Martell with a big push in the background.
Oh, Martell's broke.
So rear right has broken on Connor Martell's car, and I think that's happened literally just coming out of that chicane. So that'll be the contact, I reckon, won't it, with Michael Leach when Michael didn't see him. So now, okay, now Martell's got a job on his hands. He's got to try and keep this car in one piece and going quickly enough to stay in front of either Lane Vakela or Michael Leach. Then he's got to get it back to Dreyer and Reinbold, who's got to get that car fixed very quickly indeed, and that's a big ask, Bucky. They're going to have about 15, 20 minutes.
And if you're Lane and you can't get past a limping, injured Martell, that is going to drive you crazy.
It's going to make him nuts, isn't it? Lane Vakela has gone to the Joker, so he's actually going to drop back a little bit further now from Connor Martell. So Connor Martell, the issue here, Bucky, is when the wheel's at this angle, it's doing a lot of damage to other suspension components.
Yes, and I really wanted to see that braking point with that car being broke in the rear like that, on how it handled those bumps on turn. So Martell made it through. He's coming down the back straight towards us sideways. I can see his doors as he comes down the straightaway.
So Martell, it could be still four-wheel drive, but if it is, it's going to be a weird four-wheel drive. To me, looking at it, I think it is. I think that drive shaft's still in one piece, Bucky. So even though he's got the most toe out in the entire world on the rear right, the wheel is still spinning around when he's on the throttle. So it looks like Martell's still got all-wheel drive, but he's got the worst tracking job ever, thanks to a bit of contact with Michael Leach. Can't blame Michael for that. He wasn't aware that Connor was there, but likewise, you know, Connor's got to go for the move.
Yeah, he does. He saw the hole. Leach made a mistake. Shove that little car right in there. Look at Sage. Just perfect turn in, executed.
Even on that slippery, bumpy braking zone, he's just getting it right, isn't he, today? He's absolutely getting it right.
Look at the hard braking, dirt flying everywhere.
He's another driver I'd love to see in a supercar, Bucky. I think he'd be a weapon.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's like a Speed type of. He's got the same type of
yes.
style driving as Scott Speed. Very precise.
He hadn't done any dirt at the start of this year. He hadn't done any rallycross. This is his 4th rallycross event. He's up against Martel, the champion, Fraser McConnell, who's been brilliant this year, and Sage Karam is doing an absolutely outstanding job here. He really is. It'd be incredible to see him in a supercar.
Well, these are momentum-driven cars, so if you're a go-karter or if you have some open-wheel experience, then this is right down your alley. From what I found out, there's only a certain amount of turns and tracks where you really need to pitch the car sideways that these guys wouldn't be comfortable with.
No, and I'm sure it wouldn't take him long to get comfortable with it. Really want to see where Conor Martel is. So if Conor Martel has been passed by Vakela or if he's still he's continuing. So Conor Martel is still out there. He's coming down the straight towards the commentary box now. So Martel, there it is. Look at that. So Conor Martel's got another lap and a half. No, 2 laps to go still. Or is he about to? No, he's about to complete lap 5. So he might just do this. He might hold on to P2, Bucky, with a car like that.
And he's gapping. He is actually gapping Vakela.
Mind you, look at the turning into the left-handers. You know, like he's got that dialed for the left-handers, hasn't he? It's the right-handers where it sucks.
I would imagine he's having quite a handful of fun right now.
It's a handful of something, isn't it? Sage Karam, perfect preparation for him. Whole shot, look at that, not a speck of dust on the screen. He's ready for the final. He's going to be the pole man with just a few corners to go for Sage Karam, coming down to the big stop at the bottom of the hill. He's on the gas early, and Sage Karam is going to go pole in the final here at round 8 of ARX2. Karam wins semi-final number 1. Conor Martel is coming round in front of the competition now. He's going to cross the line for P2. Here comes Martel. And P3 is going to go to Lane Vakela. So Lane Vakela holds on for P3. There he is. So Vakela makes the final, and Michael Leach is not going to make it today. So Michael, whether it's a driving thing or a car thing, or a combination of the two, they need a big reset overnight, because today just hasn't worked, unfortunately, for Michael. Likeable young man, I say, who does a lot of different sports. But today, that car's looked to be a bit of a handful. Awesome job by Sage Karam to take the win in semi-final 1. Conor Martel, P2. Lane Vakela is 3rd. Michael Leach does cross the finish line, but a long way back. Off the start, look, Leach actually got a brilliant start from the back row, look, and manages to get around the outside of Martel.
Just too many mistakes.
Yeah. Well, there was a tiny bit of contact there, but and then Martel that lines up Vakela just perfectly. Maybe he broke it then on the tyres on the inside. Well, either way, look, Martel's had a bit of a job to do to hold on to that, but fantastic work by Sage Karam to take the win in semi-1. So good job by Sage Karam. He's been saying last time out, these professional drivers, Bucky, they don't like second place. And 3 times second place to Fraser McConnell is not what he wanted.
No, they could have the race of their life. They get out of the car in second place, and they're just,
nah, it's just not cool. So he's got the job done in the semi-final. Just one more job to do for Karam.
Sage, I think you couldn't have dreamed for this day to go better, but not a speck of dust on the front of your car coming out of semi-final 1.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's been a pretty perfect day. You know, I was able to get the whole shot, and you know, with dust being a pretty big thing here, it's really important. And when I was here, you know, a couple months ago, it was the dust was a big issue for me, and I knew I didn't want to do that again, so I just had to get better starts. And we've just been executing on that today, and it makes a world of difference, you know. And yeah, I mean, just perfect day, and got one more to go for the perfect day, and yeah, it's gonna come up quick, so I gotta get going, get ready for this thing.
Well, good luck, Sage.
Sage Karam's going to want to roll that car back to the paddock for a re-prep super quickly, but the man with the most work for his crew to do, of course, is Conor Martel. Those boys are going to have to wrench on that very quickly.
The hammer's going to have to get a couple wrenches
or
in
maybe
his
a big
toolbox
hammer.
out. Yeah.
You know the big hammer is always the tool. You know, if something bent, just hammer it back again. It'll work, won't it?
It's definitely the go-to.
Is that where the nickname came from? Do we think maybe it was nothing to do with hammer down? It was just he fixes stuff.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Here we go then, semi-final number 2. On the front row, Cole Keats and Fraser McConnell. Has Fraser been holding anything back to score some points, or is today not going to be his day? Cole Keats has been quick also. And then Gray Ledbetter and Alex Keys. Alex Keys is our mystery man here. He's missed all of qualifying due to a motor change. They've got the job done.
But his car will be the freshest.
It will be fresh. He's got a freshie. Well, we're assuming he's got a freshie.
It could be an oldie.
It could be an oldie. We're assuming he's got a freshie. You just saw a course car roll through the bottom corner of your screen. There it is. So where are they going? You can see flashing lights again up in the Joker lap 2. Where are they headed to? They have stopped in, oh, they're in turn 2. There we are. Oh, they're retrieving a banner. Well, there we are. Thank you, chaps. Our signage team, Dave and Phil from Signtech, will thank them for that. They'll be able to get that banner bolted back on. Poor old Dave and Phil, every time they see someone in the wall, they're like, oh, that's more branding to do.
Oh, zip ties.
Yeah.
More zip ties.
They need a zip tie sponsor. Definitely. Course car is coming down the back straight and will get parked underneath our commentary position.
Keats has had some amazing starts today. Fraz kind of just taking back seat, I feel.
He needs something special here to get it.
Kind of taking it in.
Get it done. Yeah. Is it a championship approach? Here we go. Cole Keats versus Fraser McConnell on the front row. Alex Keys, what can he do? And Ledbetter too. Amazing reaction time there from Fraser McConnell. You saw the car move again. Keys has got a great start too. Keats, though, is level with McConnell on the inside. Fraser McConnell going to turn across the nose of Cole Keats. He'll have the inside line for the left-hander, and Fraz has got the whole shot. So Fraser McConnell with the whole shot. Ledbetter goes Joker early. Fraser McConnell feels that braking zone for the first time. Cole Keats, Alex Keys into the back of Cole Keats. So Keys is on a big push as well. And these three out front, we can expect Bucky to go at it for the entire 6 laps.
Yes, this is their first time, first lap. Let's see how they handle the wet course and the bumps. They got through that.
Done.
They got through it quite nice. No problem whatsoever.
On the brakes there, Fraz, you could see the car moving around, but then he was on the handbrake as well and just tightened it up into the apex. And Cole Keats has gone right with him. They dropped Keys by just 2 car lengths, but it's nothing. Gray Ledbetter's there as well. So Gray's taken that early Joker. I wonder if these guys are going to consider doing the same. Ledbetter will be trying to sneak up on the back of Alex Keys. She's 1.8 off him at the moment.
McConnell has got a mirror full of Keats right now. He's got Black Rifle coffee all in his mirrors.
He has indeed. Keats decides to go standard lap, and so does Keys. So they're going to try and gap Ledbetter just a little bit. And it's, what's the gap up to now? Oh, it's not, yeah, no, it's 2.3. Okay, so they're gapping Ledbetter just a little bit. So these three, I think, will hold on, see if they can build that gap anymore. Ledbetter's going to try and chase them down. There's that tricky break. And Ledbetter's right there. She's just off the back of Keys. You might see her out of the dust. There she is in the background. Now, we can't really compare lap times with Sage Karam, unfortunately, because we only have the best lap up on our board, and the best lap is always the first lap because they're missing this chicane on the run up to the first corner. So it's tough for us to compare those lap times here. Keats is looking good, though.
Frey's doing a good job keeping his head down.
Yeah, 6 championship points for winning the semi-final. Keats has gone Joker, so Keats has gone off to the Joker, and I think Keys has gone with him. So Keats and Keys are gone. Now Keats was fast, so now Keats has got to absolutely nail this lap, Bucky, and he's got to hope that when Fraz goes to the Joker, that Fraz doesn't get such a clean lap. Likewise, Fraz's spotter is going to be on the radio now saying this is the lap to absolutely nail it.
You need to cover Keats and his move, and he tried to kind of undercut him here. He did have pace. He was all over the back of Fraze, so the merge is going to be intense.
So is McConnell going to go now, or are they brave enough to keep him out and think that he's got the lap time advantage anyway? So you're going to see now.
I'm saying send him through. Cover Keats. Yeah, cover Keats, because Keats seemed to have a little bit better pace.
There's a big bump there in turn 2 now. Do you see that on the inside just before they get to the apex? There's a big old bump on the way in there. They're all running the cars just, yeah, and he goes. So good call by Bucky Lasek and good call by Fraz's spot as they send him in. He's tight on the wall on the way and rolls off the throttle, get the car rotated, and this is easily enough. Look at that. Keats was on him, so either McConnell has done an absolutely storming Joker lap or Keats made a mistake. But Keats was all over him. Look at the bumps too down there on the braking zone. I know the track crew will get on to work on that overnight and make it as smooth as they can for tomorrow. Alex Keys, all the track, most of the grass, luckily no arm coat. Gray Ledbetter is still there, just a couple of seconds off the back, so Gray is just 3.3 off the back of these guys. If anybody makes a mistake. Another 2 laps to go and everybody's joking already. There's that hole on the outside here, Bucky. I'd be looking to try and avoid sliding through that sideways.
Yeah, a lot of the guys are driving, tucking it in, kind of taking the faster, less slidey, sendy approach, which is very smart because you'll DB a Cooper tire easily right there.
Look at the dirt there too, just where they're transitioning onto the tarmac. So they're going to have to start managing to think about what they're going to do, aren't they, in terms of looking after the cars and looking after the tires.
Well, they don't have a big turnaround to go into the final. Look at that big bump there in the braking.
Fraser McConnell going to go up against Sage Karam. Sage Karam been in fantastic form this weekend. Of course, Fraser's beaten him on the 3 occasions they've met so far this year. Sage was at the double header here at the start of the year. Then he came to Cota. Of course, to be fair to Karam, he hadn't been to Cota before, and Sage Karam really struggled with his starts last weekend, Bucky. Just a week ago down in Texas, but this weekend he's absolutely nailed them.
And what a difference it has made. He hasn't seen a speck of dirt on his car. No. He's had a clean screen. And blue skies and green fields.
Good job. Well, McConnell, just a little bit of limiter action there through the right-hander. Keats 1.6 off, Keys 2.2, so pretty close between them. Look at the bumps again down there. That's where any mistakes are going to get made. It looks like France is using the handbrake or maybe left foot braking through there, where the two behind him aren't using that quite so much. You can see the car rotates hard in the middle of the corner. Anyway, last lap, Fraser McConnell coming around to take the checkered flag and go to the front row in the final. Will it be enough to secure the championship? P2 Keats, P3 is Keys, and Gray Ledbetter, look, he's right there. She's going to cross the line in 4th place. Well done, Gray. Some good drives this weekend again. But this man, champion-elect, just a little bit more work to do. You can hear the crowd go nuts up on the bank up there. I think that's where the Jamaican support crew is. I can see the Jamaican flags being waved up there, right up at the far end of the track.
Fraz has no shortage in fans.
No.
And I speak as one of them.
Yeah, he's a good guy, isn't he?
He's a good guy. His family.
There they are.
Good crew.
That's his dad.
Yeah.
No, his dad's standing next to him, yeah. They got a bunch of people here. Picked up a new sponsor in Sandals and provided them with a win last time out at Cota. That's the way to do it. And this is the way to do this, Bucky. So he's been a little bit on the back foot, hasn't he, Fraser, for the last 2 qualifying sessions. He was P2 in Q1, dropped back then, I think, to P4 it was in Q2 and Q3. And,
well, if you're out in front, no need to play it safe. Just run with it. If you're in the back, play it safe. And that's what he's been doing. He had his chance to get out front. He did it. And there you go.
A little bit of contact in the background between Keys and Keats, but job done for McConnell. So Fraser McConnell, we've heard, has gone straight back to the paddock, and Bucky, that's understandable. Semi-final 2.
No time for talking.
Nah, absolutely not. So there's nothing in between. We're not waiting on another race. So those guys are going back. They've been given a certain amount of time in which to turn the cars around to make it fair. But you always basically want to be in semi-final number 1, don't you? You'd kind of rather be 3rd in semi-1 than 2nd in semi-2, just in terms of turnaround time.
And it helps not to have contact.
Yeah,
yeah, you
absolutely.
don't want any contact. You want clean racing. And you want to advance as far as you can, but you want to save the car.
Yeah.
But you're not really taking that into consideration.
No. Well, Fraser didn't have to on that occasion. He was out front with a clean race, and so was Sage Karam. So we've got a great race to find out who the winner of round 8 is. And also, of course, are we going to see Fraser McConnell crowned champion, or will that little points gap just be too much? Stay with us. Well, where are those Jamaicans? We know they're up there somewhere. The crowd were in this morning, so we arrived at the circuit at around 8:30 this morning, which was a nice late start, actually, to be fair. And we saw all those guys with their tents already set up.
There they are.
The Fraser McConnell fan club.
The Jamaican corner. I want to go over there later.
I do love a nationally branded corner. You know, I know there was there's been an Irish corner and a Welsh corner on rounds of the WRC before. There's there's normally like an Elfyn Evans corner. Of course, if you're a big motorsport fan, you'll know that WRC is taking place this weekend in the UK. So everybody, you know, you always kind of want your own driver to do well, don't you, on their own round. You want them to do a good job, and then you get the people who travel around supporting a driver. We found a dog. There we go. The directors finally found a dog. Found a lot of dogs when we were here last time. Oh, there's one in the background too. Look at that one. It's like a husky. Good stuff. Dog watch.
The weather is changing. The sun's gone down.
I've just had to put my coat on because I'm a big wuss.
It's a bit chilly.
James. So James is in the paddock, and we're going to have a catch-up with James and see what the news is. Well, I'm guessing, I'd like to know what's going on with Martel. Let's see if James has managed to make it anywhere near Martel's paddock.
I'm here in the paddock. I'm right in front of Dreyer and Reinbold where Connor races. He had some issues in semifinal 1 that we saw. Luckily, he was in the early one, so he could get some repairs done. His car isn't here right now, actually. I might have just missed it while I was going up there, but behind me is Sage Karam, who won. He's getting strapped in right now. You can just see how clean his car is compared to a lot of the other cars out here. It's because he hasn't had to make a single pass this weekend so far, and he's hoping to continue that. All these cars are starting to roll back out to pre-grid now. A lot of the guys are coming around that work for ARX, saying 3 minutes, 2 minutes. These guys are thrashing on the cars, so we're going to head back to pre-grid, but for now it's up to you, Bucky and Andrew.
Yeah, loving it, thrashing on the cars. They just don't have much time, and that is literally, so one of the staff from ARX turns up normally on a scooter, as in a motorised scooter, a moped as we call them in the UK, and you roll up and they literally like 3 minutes, 2 minutes. And if you miss your slot in the pre-grid, Bucky, they put the reserve in. Yeah. Basically, you have to be ready. There's Fraser McConnell doing his warm-ups. Did you do much in the way of warm-ups, Bucky?
Yeah, I definitely did. You know, I activated both sides of my brain. I did my stretching.
I think they're doing Fraser's re-prep in the pre-grid. I think that's what they've chosen to do. I think they've not sent the car back to the paddock. I think they've just sent it to pre-grid, get it ready there. So there's Martel's car. Look at that, Martel's car fixed up and done.
Yeah, good to go. Got Ben out there helping him keep cool.
Not too warm today. I say we've got coats on. It's a lot warmer in the race cars than it is up here in commentary. Another outdoor announcing booth. We might be putting the
hammer
roof
runs
over.
a little hotter than everyone else.
You think, yeah?
Definitely.
I like his livery. It's looking fast. I'm looking forward to this, actually. So, you know, obviously 6 cars in a race for the first time this weekend.
I would like to see someone get Sage off the line so that he has to
race
fight.
for it. But
yes.
Remember that fight between him and Martel last weekend was epic. So we've got Karam and Martel. Then we've got McConnell, Keats and Keys, and then we've got Lane Vakela as well. So
you can't forget about Keats. Keats is super fast.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 5 super fast front runners. Lane Vakela, who's continuing to learn. He knows that. He said that. I've been checking his social media. You know, I know he's finding the learning process frustrating. You know, he's used to doing well in karting, and the process of having to learn a new sport. There he is. He's tricky, Bucky. You know, you want to come in and win straight away. And okay, you've got guys like Sage Karam doing that, but some people have to take a different approach. You know, you have to. Some people just are straight in there, and some people have to feel their way in.
Yeah, look at that. Is that
Andreas Eriksson is there in the grey T-shirt?
Working on the champ's car. That's the designer of the car.
Yeah. Chassis 001, I think, is still in use. There's a bunch of those cars out there now because we have ARX2 in the World Championship, the FA World Rallycross Championship. ARX2 will be heading down to Cape Town with the supercars for the final round of World Rallycross. Come to Cape Town, actually. Come and have a little holiday. Cheeky little holiday to Cape Town. Watch a bit of Rallycross. It's a good track down there. Some round the outside moves up in turn 1. There's our...
RV row.
Yeah, I like RV row. RV row's rad. We need more of RV Row.
RV Row should be smelling nice right around now.
Well, there's some barbecue business going on, weren't there? I would stay on RV Row, would you? Like,
that's time to go say hi to the fans. That's when we go say hi to the fans.
Should we go when the barbecues are on? Hey, guys, how's it going? Oh, wow, those sausages look nice, yeah. I don't know if we're on the television. Can we have a sausage? But we've never heard of you. Go, leave us alone. Who are you?
Scat.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're dreaming of barbecue, but yeah, I could do RV Row. We could sack the drive in the morning, the drive in the evening. We could just sit and have, you know, a quiet beer and a barbecue. Maybe do a couple of laps of the track at night, without the beers, obviously. Before then.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course. RV Rallycross. How about that? RVRX.
Yeah, you better watch who you tell about that one.
Are you up for RVRX? That would be amazing. It'd be expensive.
And your whole team has to be in it with you.
Yeah, but
inside
all
the
your
RV.
engineers and your spotters
and your cook. You have to have all your food, so you have to survive the whole day.
We'd have on-board cameras with all sorts of stuff flying around. James is with Connor Martell.
Connor, you had some damage to your car. Obviously, you got it fixed. I'll be quicker. I see them moving ahead of you.
Yeah, they worked really hard to get the rear toe back on. It was all bent up, and so it's driving straight now. Let's see what we can do.
Good luck in the final, Connor.
Martell, good to go. Comfortable with everything being ready on the car. In the background, you can see Fraz. There's still a rim line down on the ground, but they'll have selected the best of whatever they've got left to put on that car. Limited number of the controlled Cooper tyre. Remember, this is Cooper Tyre's home event. It is Cooper Tyre's ARX of Mid-Ohio. Big sponsorship at the circuit here as well. I think they've got a big factory nearby, or the HQ. Got our Cooper Tyres podium here as well. You'll be seeing that very shortly. A little bit of all checks on the back of Alex Keys' car.
I'm sure Alex Keys, he's missed a lot of practice, so I'm sure they had a lot of changes done to that car, so I'm sure he's going to show some speed this heat.
And they're just doing some little checks there, aren't they, on that motor, because again, Buck, you know, it's only just gone in the car. Effectively, that was its shakedown, and you can do without its shakedown being a 6-lap semi-final. Just trying to get the clamshell shut down. Reminds me reminiscent of the Group B rally cars, all the clamshell stuff. And look at this, two guys rolling up to the grid almost together. There's Hank, off the moped for once. That is a rare sight, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got his hand up. Nope, I thought he had his hand on the handlebar. He's never without it.
No, an imaginary moped there just for a minute. Hank de Winter, you legend. Look at Keys' mirror. So Keys' mirror is folded flat down on the left side of the car, Bucky. So he is absolutely not interested in what's in that mirror, because if he looked at it, it'd be about right for reverse parking that. With,
yeah, he's
with
not driving his mirrors, and he's got great aerodynamics.
Ain't care. Maybe he's folded them back for extra top speed on that run up to turn 1.
For sure.
Sage Karam rolls the car up confidently to his starting spot. I'd be feeling confident if I was him as well.
I think I would tape up all my seams, and that's just not for aero. That's for the dust that comes inside.
Yeah. Good shout. Haven't seen so much dust in semi-final stages. Track's been nicely prepared. So there's a few holes out there, and I know the track crew will be working hard tonight to try and make that smooth. There'll be similar amount of running on track tomorrow. Of course, there won't be quite so much in the way of free practice in the morning. They'll just get a morning warm-up on Sunday morning, so just 2 laps for each driver.
A lot of the cars, I'm wondering if the drivers have put like some tape across their windshield, because the sun has been low. It's a lot lower now, and when the dust gets on the windscreen,
you can't see anything.
It's a lot harder to see with the sun glare.
That's pretty similar for you guys at home. You know, when you get a dirty inside to your windscreen, and then autumn or the fall comes around and the sun goes low, and you're like, wow, the inside of this screen's dirty. You don't notice it until the sun's low, and then you can't see anything. That's what Bucky's talking about with the dust on the screen. It's a real veil over everything you can see. Michaela gets the right side of the grid because he had the higher qualifying position than Keys. Both those guys third in their semi-finals.
Interesting to see if someone can hang on the outside here, which would set them up for the inside. But I haven't seen anyone be able to pull that off yet.
I'm just looking at Fraz's championship lead as well. I think he's going to get this done right now. Here we go then, let's take a look at the grid for round 8 of ARX2 2019. Sage Karam unbeaten during qualifying. He won his semi-final. Next to him, the champion-elect Fraser McConnell. Row 2, Cole Keats and Connor Martell, the outgoing champion. And row 3, Lane Vakela, learning the sport of rallycross, coming from karting, doing a good job this weekend. Great qualifying performance. And Alex Keys, who's had an engine change. He missed all of quali, but he squeezed through in his semi. Here we go then. This should be enough to see Fraser McConnell crowned champion, but he's going to want to take it with a win if he can. Sage Karam is desperate to beat him. He's been second to McConnell on every occasion they've met this year. It's a good start by Fraser McConnell. The front of the car bounces a little bit. Sage Karam alongside. Karam versus McConnell on the run to turn 1. Keats is on the inside. Going to look and see if McConnell runs wide. McConnell's trying to hold on to that position. He's going to get P2. So he gets P2, he's going to follow Sage Karam in. Keats up the inside, and Keats is going to make a pass, locks it all up. There's nowhere for Fraser McConnell to go. Lane Vakela's in there as well, so McConnell drops down to 3rd. Vakela is sideways, ends up on the inside of the course. So Lane Vakela maybe going to retire here. Fraser McConnell going to have a look on the inside on the brakes at Keys. Keats, it's very bumpy down there, and Sage Karam out front. Behind, Martell and Keys are both jokered, and they've come out in P4 and 5, right on the back of them, Bucky, already.
Not quite sure what happened to Lane there. It looks like he got some contact and just pulled into the infield.
So yeah, Lane Vakela, I think, has pulled off the edge, not continued. So Lane Vakela has pulled off after that contact with McConnell. So Fraser McConnell having got a great start. In some ways, I think he could almost have jokered from P2, Bucky. It would have been a ballsy move to do that. But where Keats stuck it up the inside into the hairpin there, he's lost ground, and now he's got the guys right behind him.
Yeah, not sure quite what to do there. You can see a big rut starting there.
Sage Karam, look, out front. Bit of understeer through the long right-hander. It's pretty dusty up there again now. Now Martell's made a mistake, so this is an opportunity for Fraser to potentially take the joker lap on this next lap, Bucky. Well, but they're right there already. It's probably the most breathing space he's going to get, but it's not going to be enough to come out in front of him. Mistake there from Sage Karam, runs the car just a little bit wide. Cole Keats holding on to 2nd place. And yeah, super tight between these guys. 5 super fast guys running up front. A shame for Lane Vakela, as we say. We can't see where he's parked. We'll have a look when we get back up to the top end of the course.
Seems that Sage is pulling a few tenths each lap on Keats.
McConnell's now right on the back of Keats too, so Keats has made a couple of mistakes there. Fraser McConnell is right with him, and McConnell maybe will have to joker on this lap. Is he going to go left? Is he going to hold on tight to that left lock? He doesn't. So McConnell now right up behind Keats. Keats almost runs wide. Would you have gone then, Bucky? Would you consider it?
I think I would have went, but I think he's going to see what he can do on the normal track. I don't think he's going to be able to get by him. Keats is pretty fast. I think he should have peeled off.
Yeah, maybe the previous lap. You see, he's got that little gap over Connor Martell, and with Keats having made a mistake, now he seems to have a tiny bit more pace in him, so it's difficult. It's very difficult.
It would have benefited Fraser to actually peel off and take the joker that lap for sure.
But he stays in P3. They're not really being dropped, are they, by Sage Karam either? It's only 1.5. Little mistake now from McConnell. So now McConnell makes a mistake and falls into the clutch. He's in Martell. So Fraser McConnell runs a little bit wide. Martell's right there with him, and Keats goes joker, so that's what they've spotted the mistake, and Keats has gone, so they're going to try and get Keats around the outside and back out in front of Connor Martell. This could be a genius move by the Keats spotter crew. Fantastic. They saw the mistake from McConnell, and they managed to slot back out into P2, so Cole Keats has taken his joker, and now McConnell, when he takes his, is going to fall down the orders. I think he's going to be off the podium here, unfortunately. McConnell tucked up in behind Keats, but Sage Karam way out in front. I think we've got a bit of an investigation, so we've got contact between Keats and McConnell under investigation, and also contact between Vakela and McConnell under investigation. So for me, the Vakela-McConnell thing was okay, but Keats-McConnell, I'm not so sure. Maybe that was on the way into the corner, Bucky. We didn't see that.
Yeah, quite possibly. I definitely did not see that. And Martell, there goes Fraser. Fraser's peeled off into the joker. Let's see where he slots in. My guess is he's going to slot in
Just saw Vakala's car parked up. Where do you think he's going to come out, Buck? He's going to get him. He's going to get Martel.
He did get Martel.
So Martel makes a mistake, and Fraser McConnell at the last minute has managed to get past Martel. Contact in the back. Keys goes up the inside of Martel. Martel makes a mistake on the inside lap. He clips the tyres as well. And McConnell has managed to make it up into P3. So Sage Karam leads. Keats is in P2, and McConnell is P3.
Sage is doing a wonderful job just out front there, clean air.
So McConnell with Keys right behind. Keys taking advantage of that mistake too. Nobody though anywhere near Sage Karam. Sage Karam has done an absolutely brilliant job this weekend. It has to be said. He's pieced it all together. The track experience that he had from this place earlier on in the season. Down through that dusty, bumpy braking zone. Alex Keys, is he going to have a look? He looks up the inside of McConnell. So Alex Keys up the inside of McConnell. Is that McConnell steering? I thought there was steering there was broken for a second. Now McConnell's up the inside. Well, this, I guarantee you, this is going to the stewards, and it is broken. I was right. McConnell's steering is broken. He's going to try and make it to the finish line. Fraser McConnell trying to cross the line. Karam takes his first ever ARX2 win. Fraser McConnell with a broken car. The champion's crawling to the finish line. So Fraser McConnell going to crawl round to the finish. Karam has taken the win from Keats and Keys, who made a last-ditch pass on McConnell, and that may have cost McConnell the chance to win the title here in this race. He might have taken Sage Karam with a big drift. Great job by Sage Karam, but drama right at the end of that one. Karam takes his debut ARX2 win on the 4th attempt. Keats with a great drive to second after some brilliant joker strategy, and Keys was passing people left, right and centre, but was he too harsh on McConnell? We've got a number of investigations, and we've got our champion has crossed the line with 3 wheels on his wagon. So we're not sure if McConnell's done enough or not to secure the championship. We need to see the standings, but it is Sage Karam who's taken a perfect clean sweep here in Mid-Ohio, all 3 qualifying sessions, the semi-final and the final.
I don't know. I'm quite okay. I feel like I'm okay with that pass that Keys put on him. I think he got beside him, and Fraser didn't really see him turned in on him, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, if he's all the way up the inside. Here's the result then of round 8 of ARX2. Sage Karam taking it, a clean sweep weekend, brilliant performance all weekend long. Cole Keats in P2, Alex Keys in P3, Martel is 4th, McConnell makes it over the line in 5th, and then Lane Vakala with a DNF. So there is McConnell's car.
That is not what we wanted to see.
Not ideal for him, is it? Take another look then. There's plenty to look at in this. So first of all, we want to look at Keats versus McConnell. So that's the 53 car that's currently P3 up here. So this is where, so that's under, I think that's under investigation. But for me, Keats was fully up the inside of McConnell, and McConnell turned in on him. So Vakala tries to go around to the right. Vakala ends up parked up in the barrier in turn 1. We saw him late in the race. This was Keats coming around and slotting back in front of McConnell. McConnell then takes his joker look and manages to get in front of Martel. Martel had made a mistake up in the corner, which had allowed Keys to get alongside. Keys then takes the place off him. Martel clips the tyres on the inside. I mean, it all went off. And this was the pass on McConnell, which broke his steering at the end. So lots for the stewards to analyse, but that's the result at the moment. Karam with the win.
That's insane.
Pick the bones of that.
I saw 2 good passes by Keys, though, in the same spot,
yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, I think probably fair. I think Keats' pass on McConnell was good up at the first corner. I say McConnell, it would have been risky to go joker immediately, because if he caught Lane Vakala later in the race, he didn't know what was going to happen to Vakala. But I think if McConnell had gone joker in front, I actually think he could potentially come out in front of Vakala. So he could have done a daring one and jokered on lap 1 from P2. Right. But that would be rare, you know. That's a risky call. But as it goes, then the passes with Keys. I mean, we've got? I mean, I think it's like a list going up the screen of things which are under investigation. Fraser McConnell potentially on the radio back to the team. They've got overnight to re-prepare that car. I say we might get some stewards' decisions anyway. Now, it could be that a steward's decision would drop Keats back down and give McConnell enough points to become the champion, but that would be a bit of a shame because we'd kind of like to see Fraz do some celebratory sending, or you know, some ARX2 style donuts, which are pretty tough. The big coat's on, it's cold, sun's gone down.
Excuses.
It's like
he brought out the big gun.
It's like England. It's freezing up here. Right, let's have a look at Fraz's issues. So we're going to take a look at Fraser's problems in this last one. So this is Keys. So how far up the inside is Keys? Fraz?
Oh, he's there. And he made the corner. It's not like he used Fraz to make the corner.
You could see it was broken, wasn't it? Then when Fraz then turns right, so you see, I think the stewards would take issue with Fraz turning right anyway across the inside of the track. Then he goes on the brakes at the bottom of the straight, and basically the strut comes off the side of the car. Up in the distance, we can see Fraz's car being recovered. So,
hey, when you're champion, you can drive the wheels off of whatever you want.
And he literally, the wheels have been
he's not
driven
champion
off.
yet.
No, exactly. Well, I was looking at the championship standings coming here. So, what was he in front? He was 33 points in front. So in theory, you know, he didn't have to do a huge amount here. But then looking at it, Keats outscored him by 2 in qualifying, so that would have closed it down to 31. Then did Keats outscore him in the semi? I can't remember what the results of the semi were. No, he won his semi, so he would have outscored Keats in the semi, so that would have put the gap back up again. But now Keats has outscored him, so you can see it's super close. Look, basically, Fraz is probably 30 points clear with 30 points up for grabs, so he's probably the champion. But until they've done all the stewards' inquiries and checked everything out, you know, and I think he's probably going to want to celebrate without coming back on a pickup truck. But there you go.
Yeah.
Right, I think we have the championship standings. So let's have a look and see whether or not McConnell has done enough. Are we there? We're not there right now. Okay, so Sage Karam into the holding area along with Cole Keats and Alex Keys. There's Keys in the background. Okay, so no action, ARX2 final between Keats and McConnell. There's no action between Vakela and McConnell. And to be fair, Bucky, we haven't seen an investigation into Keys. So Keys' number 4 hasn't appeared on the investigation screen at all. He put a good pass in on Martel, and it looks like the stewards feel that he put a good pass in on Fraser.
Good on him.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part, listening to
me too.
Everything after the races.
Always go quiet and try and listen to what the drivers are saying. Sometimes it ends with us then having to apologise, but it's always interesting to see what they're saying in the heat of the moment. So that's kind of my favourite bit in F1. You know now where they go with the camera into the horribly awkward holding room before they go on the podium, don't you? And you see people desperately trying not to look at each other when the room's about this big. It's like, I'm not looking at you. So, but yeah, I mean, it all seems in fairly good spirits down on the podium. Right, here we go then. Here are the championship standings at the end of round 8. Fraser McConnell on 191, and no, he hasn't done enough. So Cole Keats, that retirement for Fraser McConnell and Cole Keats, brilliant strategy to get himself up into P2 in the final of round 8, has closed the gap down to 29 points. Now, admittedly, that means that tomorrow Fraser has to have a disaster for Keats to take the title, but stranger things have happened. So Keats' championship hopes are still alive with 1 round to go. Is down with Alex Keys, who got 3rd place. Let's hear from Alex.
Alex, what a whirlwind of a day from having no engine in the car to a podium position.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a good example of an up and down day. I mean, we went out for practice, felt pretty good, was having trouble downshifting, came in and the car didn't start. And then right when we went out for Q1, it started knocking. So we had to change the engine. We have 2 full-time mechanics, and we actually had 2 intern guys from Buell Sport in Detroit just here to check it out today, and we put them to work. Got the engine back in time for the semis, like within 10 minutes, went back out, made the race, and then we were able to start the final from there.
That's great. Well, congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you can do it again.
Thank you.
Second. Here you go, Cole. Cole, wow. I mean, you had a great race day. You have another one tomorrow. We saw all the craziness that can happen in a race weekend, especially out there when it's getting a little bit rough. He was saying that there was a little bit of ruts out there.
A little. No, that was a crazy race. I mean, we've been chasing Sage all day. So, I mean, to finish P2, we'll take it, get a couple points back. But I really want that win this year. And like I said, we're just chasing Sage right now. He's been winning everything. So, hopefully tomorrow we'll have something for him. But, hey, I can't complain right now. Big thanks to Dry Rumble. I mean, we went 1-2 today. And like I said, everyone else out there, Black Rifle, for putting me out in this car. And like I said, it was rough out there, but tomorrow will be just as fun.
And you've kept the championship alive.
Yeah, that's the goal. So I don't know where we're at, but we need a little bit more. So like I said, I got to be perfect tomorrow, but we'll see what we can do.
Great. Well, good luck tomorrow.
Well, there we go. So Fraser McConnell looked like he was going to tie up the championship in the final here, and then with the issues that he had, you know, the contact, the broken car, he's dropped down the order. Look, to be honest, he should get it done in qualifying tomorrow. It doesn't really matter where he finishes.
He should get it done tonight at dinner.
Yeah, but he will be frustrated that he didn't get it done. Now, somebody who isn't frustrated, of course, is Sage Karam. Takes his first ARX2 win.
Sage, I'm going to let you do the talking, but a perfect day.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't have asked for anything else. You know, I mean, everything went our way today, and the team, you know, did a great job, gave me a great car, and all I had to do was just, you know, get off the line and do consistent laps, and thankfully that's what we did. You know, I was so sick and tired of finishing second. I did 3 races before this, finished second all 3 times, and I just wanted to win so bad. And this being the last race weekend of the season, you know, had to get it done. And thankfully got it done today. Now tomorrow, you know, got the monkey off our backs, and we can just go have some fun now and hopefully, you know, make a clean sweep of the weekend. That'd be great. But, you know, like I said before, these guys are really good in the ARX series. And, you know, I think it was pretty cool to see, you know, Dreyer, Reinbold racing 1-2. And also, I mean, Keys finishing 3rd after, you know, having, you know, a bad day with, you know, with difficulties and not being able to do all this qualifying. I mean, for him to come back and be on the podium is pretty incredible, too. So he'll be gunning tomorrow, and I got to come back even stronger tomorrow to stay up here.
Well, congratulations, Sage. While we get the podium ready down here, back up to you, Bucky and Andrew.
Good job. I love the fact Karam's across the other stories as well, like the fact he's across what Keys has done today. You know, like
he covered it all.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He's good. We you know, we have to give that guy a job. He's
got a future in the sport.
He has. He definitely has. I mean, in all seriousness, Sage Karam's performance, brilliant. You know, and he said he was sick and tired of finishing second. He could have won any of those races earlier this year. He just didn't quite get it done. But to get it done the way he's got it done today, winning all the qualifying sessions and the semi and the final, is a perfect performance. It's a clean sweep. It's pretty rare in Rallycross.
I definitely think if he gets a full-time seat, we have a championship contender.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a final as well. 5 cars there that were on very similar pace. I get the impression if Karam hadn't got the start, that would have been a real race. You know, when we saw some brilliant passing between him and Martel last time out at Kota. But he did get the start. He got it done.
Yeah, every start.
Yeah. Absolutely, which he wasn't getting done at Kota. So I reckon Sage Karam's been somewhere this week with that car, even if it's the parking lot here last night, having a bit of a practice, because he did not get the starts right at Kota.
I think it's time I go and sit down and have a talk and find out.
We need to find out what's going on with Sage Karam. Yeah, Sage Karam's on it. He's having a good weekend. So we're nearly there with the podium, I believe, hoping that our 3 drivers are going to be up there. Me and Bucky getting ready for tomorrow. We're going to finish off America's Rallycross and be crowning a champion. It's Advantage Tanner Faust. He's 17 points in front coming here, and he won Q1 and Q2 today. Good start for Tanner.
Yeah, he's another one. Him and Sage, I don't know if they're eating on the same program, if they have the same trainer, but I'd say that they're both on the same pace. They're both well ahead of the rest of the field, and let's go down to the podium now.
After missing qualifying with a blown motor, Alex Keys.
Well, you heard the local announcer say he missed qualifying with a blown motor, and yet there he is up on the podium. What a fantastic result for him.
Second place goes to Cole
Bit of cap swapping going on. How many caps has he got up there? He's only got 1 head. Cole Keats takes P2. It's a slim hope, but he's kept the championship hopes alive. And Sage Karam finally gets to stand on the middle step of the podium. 4 events, and he takes a win on that 4th one. 3 P2s. I tell you what, that's a decent record as well, isn't it? Every time Sage Karam has sat in the car, he's been on the podium. Now, the same was true for Martel until today. So Conor Martel had 2 wins, 2 seconds and a 3rd. But it's 4th for him today. McConnell's been on the podium at the last 4 rounds. Of course, he had a 2nd at Gateway, round 2 of Gateway, and And then he's had 3 wins in a row to give himself that championship advantage. But he finishes the final in 5th place here today, and we'll have to wait until tomorrow to make it mathematically impossible to be beaten. Great to see the Cooper Tires ambassadors up on the Cooper Tires podium for the Cooper Tires ARX of Mid-Ohio. Round 8 of ARX2 is done. Sage Karam sprays the champagne for the win. Gentleman's agreement as usually not to spray each other's driving suits when you've got one more day to go. So you're going to have to wait for that shot tomorrow, photographers. Little drink. And then up to the press conference, which is where we will be heading soon. So good job by Sage Karam, a decent day's racing here from Mid-Ohio as well, I think. The track crews will be out repairing the track. In fact, I can see them there out on the track already. So up on the gravel section, they're filling in some of those ruts. I think we can expect the track to be in tip-top condition tomorrow morning. There's only going to be basically two laps each of warm-up for these guys in the morning, so the track shouldn't be too harshly cut up. We've then got Q3 and Q4 for ARX, and there, as Bucky's pointing out, where is it? All the hands always go wrong. There it is.
It's on
like
the
being in a
screen
mirror,
over
isn't
here,
it? Yeah.
but got a point over there.
But there you go, 9:55 Eastern Standard Time, basically, if you want to join us tomorrow for Q3. That'll be ARX, and of course, we'll be doing a whole nother day of ARX2. They've got 3 qualifying sessions and a final. We've got 2 champions. We thought we might be crowning the champion today, but Fraser McConnell didn't quite get it done. So McConnell and Faust, the favourites for tomorrow. But as you can see, anything can happen. So have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.